Hello, everyone. My name is Lakshmi, and that's Kendrick. We're gonna start our project, Endocrine Disruptors. So this is the outline. We start from what is endocrine disruptors and an introduction with thesis, and then move on to endocrine disruptors that enter our body through animal products, which is Kendrick's part, and then followed by endocrine disruptors that enter our body through plant-based products, and then finally conclusion and recommendations. So, what is endocrine system? So today I want to talk about a critical yet often overlooked environmental issue, the impact of endocrine disrupting chemicals, or EDCs as short form, on our food systems and on our environment. First, let's understand what the endocrine system is, and then move on to what the EDCs, or endocrine disruptors, are. The endocrine system is an network of glands and organs, as you can see to the right here, that supervise growth, metabolism, and reproduction. This not only determines the level of energy we have in our bodies, but also how our body develops over time. This makes hormonal changes, generates chemical signals that help keep the body balanced and in harmony with the changing needs in our environment. Hormones play an important role in keeping our body in harmony, and also they're also responsible for different needs our body requires. So one great thing about the endocrine system is that it's capable of altering hormones on a small scale level, which is like immediate stress level management or fight or flight response, and long term, such as aging and growth over time. However, it's very important to remember that the endocrine system is very easy to be manipulated by chemical disruptors, which exist in common products that we use on a daily basis around us. And this will deeply influence how our health goes in a positive direction or in a negative direction. So, today, first, I'd like to highlight the impact of these endocrine disruptors, or EDCs, in our health. These are chemicals that kind of interject with our hormones, kind of disrupt it. And these chemicals are interjecting the hormones that our body produces that are needed for basic functions like growth, metabolism, and just our body development in general. EDCs can kind of, mimic natural hormones, and they cause our body to respond to false signals. So they can block hormone receptors, they can stop vital functions in our body. They can and they can also alter the hormone production our body has. This will lead to major imbalances in our body. So this interference of EDCs to our hormonal health has been linked to serious health issues, starting from reproductive challenges and immunity disorders to obesity, diabetes, and even hormone-related cancers. Our exposure to these chemicals is usually long-term and hard to kind of, avoid. This makes it very important that we understand their impact and take steps to reduce these um, effect of these chemicals in our bodies over time. So, our thesis would be environmental endocrine disruptors damage the endocrine system and cause hormonal imbalance, but solutions like spreading awareness, reducing their influence in consumers, consumer-based products, animal-based products, and plant-based products through early detection of these EDCs with the use of biosensors are very useful to minimize the damage.
Thank you, Kashmi, for covering our main topic. Now coming through, we will talk about the EDC threatening the ecosystems and public health. So, pollutants can be detrimental due to how it can affect the hormones by the toxicity from the air of how the products are being made in the factory. Now, the process of detecting the EDCs would be a slow, efficient, but very simple process. This can be very helpful because of the simplicity of how detecting the EDCs can be. Now, with the help of the biosensor, we can easily support the EDCs We can easily spot the EDCs that cannot be seen in the human eye. Now, down here, we have an image showing the ability of the biosensor and how it's able to detect harmful chemicals in the environmental samples. Next slide. Now, why does EDC detection matters? With the EDC chemicals, it trickles down to the water, which makes it dirty for the aquatic species inhabiting in it, causing their hormone disruptors to work within us as well, because humans consume fish as well. Now, working from keeping track of the EDCs and attending to them as fast as possible when detected, we we can prevent future problems from happening, allowing us to consume more animals in the sea without any risk. Now, this allows us to always be ready in the time of need when the EDC issues can come out of hand. Now, working on this, I'm talking about portable monitoring, which is always needed for timely intervention. Next slide. Now, the innovative detection system framework of EDC tech. Now, advanced biosensors can be used in the engineering design easily to scope out the EDC chemicals and the germs that the water can have. With the use of the IoT devices, we can connect to AI to help us get more credible and usable information from the EDCs. Now, having this can help put the information found in a more concise format that can be understood by others. And down here, we have an ultra sensitive detection of the EDC. Next slide. Now, EDC's broad impact across sectors. Now, protecting the water quality and the ecosystem would make us adhere and allow us to create an EDC-free environment for the animals. Now, safeguarding live food and safely allowing us to make a healthy environment for animals to live in, making EDC not present at all for them to acquire. Now, aiding to the regulatory policies and making rules so pollution control can be done, could be implemented by having everyone follow just a standard guide, following a standard guideline, teaching them on how to mitigate pollution. Next slide. Now, overcoming implementation hurdles. My first challenge I'd like to talk about is the selectivity and the sensitivity. Now, when taken seriously, this can prevent the cost of the EDC problems before happening. Now, the solution to this would be molecular imprinting, which allows us to save more money. Now, uh, we are going to resolve this in a place by trying to find the EDCs. So my second challenge I'd like to talk about is the cost and scalability of the issue. Now, because of how the project can be found, the budget to get material can be very difficult. But to resolve this, we can make something, make a design, of course, but a modular design. Now, a modular design is very cost effective and helpful to make. Now, the challenge would be standardized data. With different types of people with different views on the data, EDCs can be hard to understand because of how many inputs that people have. Now, a solution to this would be implementing a universal norm that everyone can understand so everyone can collaboratively share their information. Next slide. Now, the long-term goals outweighs the cost. Now, when taken seriously economically, we can prevent the cost of tending to EDC problems beforehand, saving us more money. Now, environmentally, going off the same concept, when EDC is taken seriously and quickly attended to, the faster contamination can happen and the responses can protect the ecosystem. Now, when EDC is prevented, a healthier and happier lifestyle can be made by simply having the nature to control the effects of how our hormones act versus letting our hormones be controlled by the food we consume. Last slide. Now, going towards a safer and more sustainable future, this is important because EDC goes hand to hand in the food chain because it can affect everyone. And if not properly handled, the safe environment cannot be made for humans and animals to live. Now, having advanced technology can help keep the water clean and the animals clean because we can protect them both from EDCs and we can make an environment where everyone can thrive. Now, taking the proactive steps for a sustainable ecosystem, when we do this, we ensure that the technology is made and it can be used for different people and places. Passing it off to you.
So, from what we just learned from Kendrick's presentation, we know that endocrine disruptors come into our body through different sources, right? This could include things like everyday products we use or animal-based foods. But what might be a surprise to everybody is that these EDCs also find a way into our systems through what we usually consider, safe and healthy food, which is farm produce, right? So EDCs in plant-based products usually stem from, additives like pesticides, fertilizers, and packaging materials. And also another major contributor is microplastics. This can enter our body on a daily basis. These chemicals kind of disrupt the hormones and damage our health by mimicking or blocking natural hormones, which our body already creates. This kind of creates a ripple effect of contamination in our food systems, right? This turns our food, such as farm produced foods, such as fruits and vegetables, into, bringers or carriers of toxic substances. The consequences that this entails are severe. So issues such as cancer, infertility, metabolic disorders, and developmental delays are some of them. Looking at the amount of harm these products cause, the need for innovative and futuristic solutions is very important for a healthier and a more happier future. So, chemicals like atrazine, chlorpyrifos, BPAs, pyrethroids, glyphosate are used in farming through pesticides, insecticides, and fertilizers. These are used to increase the quality and quantity of the farm produce that are given to us. But these end up really harming our bodies through products such as fruits, vegetables, grains, and so on. They interfere with their endocrine system. They disrupt our hormones like estrogen, thyroid, insulin, and they cause serious health effects. Some of the temporary remedies we should follow to avoid damage to our bodies would be to wash everything we eat, cook them properly, go organic in the foods we eat, limit the consumption of processed foods we consume. So, all these steps together can help us lower the risks and harm done to our body in the long run and protect our hormonal health. I will now give an example of how the EDCs found in farming produce, uh, what they are, and the type of harm they cause to our bodies. So the first one would be pesticides. These are designed to protect farm produce, plantations, plants, from things like pests or insects. But the negative effect they have is the lingering chemicals that usually end up in our bodies and cause severe consequences. They disrupt the hormonal balance in our body and even damage the nervous system. A common class of pesticides is organophosphates, and these are particularly harmful, leading to cognitive issues and developmental delays, especially in smaller children. Next would be the microplastics. These would these are like tiny particles of plastic fragments. They don't just pollute the soil, but they also increase the time frame of these chemicals that last in the soil. So say that it's supposed usually a normal chemical would last 1 year. These make them last 2 years, 3 years, and so on. So this means that the plant absorbs these harmful chemicals and they eventually make it back into our bodies through food. The third one would be food packaging. This is a very major contributor. Substances like BPA, phthalates, they can leak into our food, especially when stored for a longer period of time or exposed to heat. These chemicals kind of mimic hormones, especially in women, hormones like estrogen, which at the end of the day cause imbalances like or issues like thyroid dysfunction, obesity, and even PCOD. The last one I'm covering would be heavy metals. Heavy metals like lead, cadmium, mercury, these are often found in agricultural runoffs or industrial runoffs that leak into agricultural food that we consume. So these kind of amplify the problem we're facing. These toxins that are in the produce we consume is they cause things like neurotoxicity or kidney damage, right? They especially affect populations, poor populations, who cannot afford a proper health care, who cannot help afford proper healthy alternatives of food. So our solution we came up with is biosensors. This is a preventive solution through EDC detection, right? These gloves, biosensor gloves, are equipped with biosensors that include a tiny biohybrid probes. These are the chemical part of the solution, right? So these include like things like Prussian blue, carbon black, or enzymes like uh cholinesterase, right? So when these gloves come in contact with the target substance, such as, I don't know, pesticides or heavy metals, the probes inside these biosensors react with those chemicals. Then the electrical signals passing through that biosensor kind of detects these chemicals and they detect the type of the EDCs, the concentration of the EDCs, and send it back to where a signal is generated. And this is where the microcontroller comes in. So we embed a tiny microcontroller in the glove, which kind of transmits the generated signal and converts it into a human-friendly language, right? Or a digital form of analysis. So this process data is then transmitted wirelessly into a laptop or a phone or smart tablet or laptop or I mean a desktop. So any kind of electrical devices. These are the screens that the effects or the chemicals are displayed. This happens through a system called IoT or Internet of Things, which is integration of having proper communication between the glove and the device. So the results are then displayed on the screen in a human-friendly language, right? And they're displayed in the basis of the type of chemical detected and its concentration, right? Which kind of assesses the risk that these products give us. So this can go from, this is safe to consume, this is really harmful to our bodies, or this is okay to consume. These are the risks that entail with consumption, right? So this makes the consumers aware of everything. So an additional feature for this could be that the collected data can be stored for future references or uploaded to a storage database for more advanced analysis. This step kind of allows users to track the trends or create reports based on the chemical detection over time. So, The advantages of these biosensor glove solution that we came up with would be the first one would be uh starting from the base level for farmers. So this is a preventive solution and it shows most importantly when it comes to farmers. So these gloves serve as an essential tool for farmers. They detect the harmful chemicals like pesticides or fertilizers during our application or planting of these seeds, right? So if the soil is unsafe and based on the levels of unsafety, they can either rectify the chemical composition or switch to better and safer alternatives. This promotes sustainability and responsible farming practices, which basically improves both the crop quality and the soil health. The second one would be us, the customers or the consumers. We can benefit directly from this technology. By using biosensor gloves, consumers can verify the presence of harmful substances in these fresh produce or packed foods before purchasing the products for consumption. This kind of gives us individuals the power to make informed choices about our own health and well-being. So what's remarkable about these gloves? So these gloves are scalable for large scale use, right? So if it's in agricultural fields, food markets, even industrial food processing plants, biosensor gloves provide a reliable solution to detecting and reducing the harmful substances in our food systems. In addition, they are easily portable, accessible to all kinds of populations, like the average middle class families or the poor families who cannot afford expensive treatments. So that would be the conclusion of the plant-based products. I'm going to move on to the conclusion and recommendations.
Okay, so now the EDCs harm the ecosystem. EDCs harm ecosystems, health, and food safety. Now, with using biosensors for real-time detection, we can all raise public awareness on EDC risks and promote sustainability initiatives, strengthen environmental innovations, and we can help support researchers reduce risks and improve safety. Thank you.
Thank you.